So yesterday I went to go see Disclosure Day. Now, if you're a person like me, which is a very specific person, I'm not saying everyone is like me, but if you're a specific person that likes looking into some of the old alien conspiracies like Roswell, or, if you've seen a couple of podcasts of Bob Lazar talking about back engineering UFOs, and you have a general knowledge of some of the descriptions and ways people go about describing aliens and encounters and abductions, you will see that there's a lot of contrast and a lot of things that they follow to the T of how people described it in these real world scenarios that are portrayed in this movie. So if you don't know already, this movie is about a guy. I have all their names here because I'm not remembering everyone's name. Josh O'Connor plays him, and he's one of the main characters along with Emily Blunt. So Josh O'Connor's character, Daniel Kellner, he is one of the people trying to disclose the information about the aliens. And to my surprise, I thought he was actually going to be like a blank slate kind of character, not a lot of emotion, not very inspired, but he was actually very smart and very capable person and made a lot of smart decisions. So it made following his character throughout the story actually pretty pleasurable because you don't feel like you're falling around a dummy. But as for characters in the movie, I would say he's kind of put on the back burner compared to someone like Emily Blunt because his character doesn't really have a lot to do besides run away from villains. All the heart and soul of the movie, I believe, falls with Emily Blunt's character. You also have Colin Domingo who plays Hugo. His character was okay. I mean, he played good, but I just don't feel like there was much for him to do besides call in and check on people that are coming to him because he is also helping trying to disclose this information of alien technology and alien people and all that stuff. And Colin Firth, he serves as the main antagonist, which was probably the weakest character in the whole movie for me. He's not terrible, but he feels very basic. A lot of what makes him threatening comes from this alien device he uses to track people. And I felt like it became a little bit too convenient at times with this MacGuffin alien device, which leads to only maybe 2 action scenes in this whole movie. And I really wouldn't call them action scenes, more of chase scenes. Yeah, so I think that's like going to be people's main big problem is that they're going to go into this movie thinking it's like a War of the Worlds where it's like an alien invasion. For cinematography, the movie's really good. He has a decent camera movement, camera blocking, has a lot of scenes where he lets the camera just kind of move throughout the scene but not cut, and that's just classic Spielberg, and I love his camera blocking. So cinematography's good. There is a lot of lens flares for some reason. He went full J.J. Abrams on this, and there's just hella lens flares. I think you could have dialed back that a little bit. Some of the characters, like the girlfriend of Josh O'Connor's character, I felt like we're a little shoehorned in just to get into some of the religious aspects of the idea of disclosing information about aliens and how it would affect religion. And I felt like that kind of came across a little shoehorned in, a little cheesy. I kind of could have got away with not having that character in the movie at all, I would say. And I felt like her character was a little cheesy at some times. Most alien movies create their own version of extraterrestrials. Steven Spielberg instead looks at the decades of stories and conspiracy theories and tried to recreate them as faithfully as possible, because you don't include this many details unless you spent time going through some rabbit holes yourself. As far as the themes go, I think the movie is ultimately about humanity being ready for the truth, and if they are ready or if they're not ready. There's some discussion about how disclosure would affect religion, society, governments, and the way people see each other. I actually wish the movie explored those ideas a little bit more, because once the disclosure finally happens, this movie basically ends. A lot of people are probably going to leave the theater wanting more and wanting to know what happens next. How does the world react? How does society change? What are the consequences? This movie isn't really interested in answering any of those questions. The whole point is getting the truth out there. For me, that's what the story was building towards from the beginning, so I don't feel cheated by the ending. So at the end of the day, I think Disclosure Day is going to be one of those movies where your enjoyment depends entirely on what you're expecting. If you're expecting an invasion blockbuster movie, you're probably going to hate it. If you're interested in UFO lore, conspiracy theories, Roswell, government cover-ups, and the idea of disclosure itself, I think there's a lot to appreciate here. So like a really good example I have of being someone who is into UFOs and watching this and appreciating things versus someone who's not is like a scene from the Roswell crash where they're bringing these dead alien bodies, and they have like these little goofy ass suits on, like these little long turtlenecks, and it looks goofy. And I could see if someone was watching this movie and they see these aliens, they're like, why do these aliens look so cartoonish? Why are they wearing these little suits? This looks stupid. But again, if you look into the conspiracies and you listen to a lot of people's abduction stories, they describe these 4 foot tall aliens called the Greys with these little suits on. And it's portrayed very realistically to how people describe these aliens. And that actually happens to a lot of the things in this movie. A lot of the videos that they end up releasing towards the end that actually shows like the UFOs and alien bodies that they're disclosing to the news. That's how they're described. A lot of them were picked from actual conspiracy stories from a real world, and it's portrayed. And I don't know, it was just really cool because a lot of these movies that are made these days when it comes to aliens specifically, it's more so about a person kind of creating their own identity for an alien and then trying to do like an end of the world kind of scenario. And I feel like Steven Spielberg really understands aliens and the conspiracy theories that go behind them and in the stories. He's able to portray them in a way that is very realistic to how they are described. Now, how they're described is probably not the most cinematic thing. It's probably not the most ungoofy looking thing, but he is portraying them as they've been said. A long time ago, a little old ZOLLY effect went to watch, what's that? Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I hated it. I thought it was going to be a War of the Worlds movie, and it wasn't. It was really a love story, and it was talking about how like aliens aren't bad, and they're coming in peace, and I just wasn't ready for that. And I feel like some people are going to have the same feeling that little ZOLLY effect had when he was watching that movie, and they're just going to be very dissatisfied, and they're going to want a War of the Worlds, and that's just not what this movie is. But yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions in this movie. I know it was kind of all over the place. I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to my opinion on this movie. So yeah, I guess this review is what it is, but hope you enjoyed. As an alien movie specifically, I'd probably give it around a 9 out of 10 because it's one of the closest portrayals I've seen on how these stories are actually told. As a general audience movie, I completely understand why people are going to be divided. People are going to hate it. They're going to say that he lost his touch and it's terrible. But for me, I had a really good time with it. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this new Spielberg movie. Have you seen it? Did you think the movie was boring? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next review. Deuces.